Yo, what's up, family? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy DXB Crypto, back again with more knowledge. Smash a like, follow the channel if you're new, and let's effing go. So, guys, a lot of people are distracted by AI agents and shit agents. Yeah, fair enough. If you hold based AI, like I keep begging you to hold based AI, you do have exposure to AI agents. In fact, you've got exposure to AI creatures. So everybody chill the hell out. All right. Don't waste your money. Don't blow your load on silly tokens out there. You really, really cannot be your worst enemy. None of us are traders. We buy what's good. We buy what's dormant, what's silent, and what's quiet. So I'm going to give you some alpha today. We're going to talk about some charts, and we're going to look at why I think gaming is going to pump. And we're also going to look at the FOMC. We'll go through BTC charts, BTC versus altcoins, especially the large caps, and what you should be looking at. So check this out. So we bought shrapnel, okay, down there. All right. We bought shrapnel at a fractions of a penny. Now, where is shrapnel now? It's at 3 cents. But if you look at the overall scheme here, and the reason I'm actually coming to you with making 10x flips and then holding things back into your core is because simple, like for a simple reason. One, you're looking at a chart here, and this chart offers you a 10x from the bottom. I kid you not. It offers you. So the all-time high was over here. All right. This is how you should be playing. You should be eating the narratives that are dormant. And whatever that people are talking about right now, just ignore it. So shrapnel, to go back to the all-time highs, is nearly 11x. Absolutely insane, guys. And not financial advice, but you could hit a 3x, a 5x, a 10x. This is what you do. And then you rotate this money back into your core. So not financial advice right now. Gaming is dormant. Gaming is silent. Congratulations to the community for holding Corpo. We are exactly 2x from the lows, and it's moved up 97% for the month. But Carrot's not doing much. Very, very dull, very quiet. Mavia's not doing much, right? Even though it's holding at this level, but it's up last, what is it, 2% in the last hour. Crypto gaming has mindshare, guys. And when it comes to mindshare, if you look at where we're looking at right now, 13% meme ETFs, but just chilling there is crypto gaming. And if I refresh this, because this is a dynamic chart, you start to see GameFi here is actually not 3%, but 5%, right? There you go. So smart money is actually buying gaming projects, not financial advice. But of course, there are other what I would say, other crucial sectors that you could be allocating into as well. But I wanted to give you a look at what a shrapnel or any of these games can do in a bull market. All right. So consider that as a way for you to make money. Just look at what's dormant. I mean, look at Corpo, for example, right? You're looking at Corpo. We have been in Corpo since the very bottom, right? I mean, look at these. This has been horrific, but it's showing signs of life right now. It has literally broken structure. It's come out of the downshift or downtrend. And now you've got an opportunity to look at this if it consolidates around here. Look at the all-time high, right? So if you're holding, for example, Corporate World, look at this. All you got to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. We are in a bull market, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get distracted by all these different narratives, but that's 5x back to the where it's supposed to be. All right. And many of our altcoins are like that. Now, in addition to this, I also wanted to show you a strategy which I've employed absolutely to perfection, which is a rotation strategy. So I pick about 5 to 10 altcoins that I want to have life-changing, gains from, right? So I've got my picks. I hold big caps like Sui and Kaspa. But because the bag is so nice, I don't really put my new money into those. Those are going to take care of the portfolio. Especially Sui has been just sitting there. I don't even talk about Sui. We entered Sui at 74 cents. I don't talk about it because I have a decent bag and let Sui do what it does. But here's something I want to share with you. I've got about the likes of basedai, for example. I've got about 4 or 5, say probably 10 core coins that I contribute to as I make winnings across the other degen plays that I have. And the way to do this is simple. So if you've got, for example, I have alephium, based AI, here is Omavia, Zero One Labs is DAI, which has had a crazy month. To be honest, this was going so well, but it had to cool off due to the crazy numbers. And yesterday alone, I actually put in another $10,000 into this project. And there you go. There's that wick over there. But here's the strategy, right? I want to build certain bags. And in order for me to do that, I need to be absolutely tunnel vision and focused. So what do? Highlight altcoins, maybe 10 of them. And then I rotate some profits into those. Now, you would argue traditionally the profit rotation is into large caps, right? But the way I do it is I'm doing it the other way. So I'm doing it with my conviction plays, which are smaller caps, say, for example, than my larger holdings like a Sui or a Kaspa that I know have a very big market cap and they stay stable more or less, especially in the case of Sui, or they tend to outperform the market. Sui is definitely the cycle Solana, but let's have a look at some other things you can do potentially to stay sane in this market, because this market is unforgiving. The moment you start messing around with your portfolio, you lose everything. Okay, so I'm going to show you why being in certain altcoins is good or bad at various different times. So this is Solana's. Let's have a look at Solana. So if you see what I've marked here. So Solana had these peaks. So every single chart I'm showing you here is against BTC, guys. All right. So Solana had this peak. It had these crazy runs versus BTC. You can see there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. These happen. And right now, Solana has been on the opposite end of that, which is it's been it's been dropping off. Now, this is a good time to buy Solana meme coins. Okay, Solana large cap meme coins would be good to buy because the layer 1, the main token, once Solana breaks all-time high, it's going to take all of these meme coins, especially the good quality ones, with it. Right now, they're not doing much because the chart versus BTC is not doing much. In fact, I'm expecting it to come down further into this range over here, and that is going to be the last before it breaks out against and ultimately reverses from here and does crazy things. It's very simple. We don't even need to complicate it. Ethereum versus BTC is an interesting one. So it's been in this range forever, and I've kind of scribbled here. I was looking for this as the bottom, so it's obviously now in range and it's testing the trend line that goes back to many months. So ETH right now is a very good play, and again, ETH does well, pepe runs, and whether you're in the spot or the futures game, you can clearly see where your altcoin is, based on ETH's performance versus BTC. So Solana, we know Solana is not performing well against BTC and ETH. Therefore, I would be looking at Solana ecosystem plays that I want to hold for the bull market, because once it turns around, it tends to pump really hard. All right, so let's continue. So this is ALF versus BTC. It did really well in the past month. Really well. That is because if you look at the ALF versus BTC in terms of the gigaton, you would see that news. I mean, this is what you want to do. You want to buy these altcoins and when they are in this downtrend. So what you want to do is you want to DCA down just like you would ladder out to this point, right? But what you don't want to do is you don't want to start buying the coin. And this is what many investors, these are the mistakes that many investors do, do all the time. Boom, boom, you know, the next breakout is going to be, it's going to be exceptional. So what you have to do is buy the downtrend, buy this slow. Do not be, don't, you can wait. I mean, you can wait for something like this, for example. I know a lot of people who would just start to wait for Alf to do this. But look, even if it dropped, look at the rise again. So right now we're going through that. You can call it waves, and you can use Elliott wave theory and whatever. But for me, it's very visual, very easy. When the chart's going to reverse, that's when you buy. So Alf has done really well against BTC. Now, obviously, it's going the other way. And again, same thing with Bitenso Tau. If you look at Tau, for example, if you look at Bitenso Tau right now, it looks like it's close to its bottoming versus BTC. This level is really good. But look at the RSI, guys. Look where the RSI is, right? Look over here. The RSI on the daily is absolutely sitting beautiful. So what can happen from here? I mean, I think $1,000 Tau would be pretty imminent, but this is, and again, this is another way you can play these. Again, XLR, everything is down versus BTC at the moment, all right? But you can actually see some kind of a reaction to a news, and then this is an overextended RSI chilling here. In fact, crossing to the downside. So you can actually DCA into this as it continues to gather momentum. And again, this is Sui. Look at Sui, right? We bought Sui so early and it's done tremendously well. But look at this, the strength. This is why everything you see here is red. And I think Sui is going to be this cycle's Solana. It's got easily over 100 billion written all over it. And yeah, look at CAS. Again, CAS is one that has done tremendously well versus BTC. Most people forget where CAS came from. And I think CAS had its bull run in 2023 and early this year. So if you look at this right now, CAS versus BTC has been bleeding. But the only silver lining that we've got is the RSI right now has nowhere to move. But if you look at this, to be honest, the chart is absolutely difficult. So what you need to do is wait for CAS versus BTC to break out. And that's when you understand where CAS can potentially go for the rest of the bull market. So wait for that. I mean, look, for this period here, it has done incredible. Look, from here, through, in fact, all this time has been outperforming Bitcoin, right? So you have to be objective, guys. But at the same time, obviously, do what's right for you. But right now, if you're coming into the market to buy Kaspa, right, you need to have a confirmation that Kaspa turns this chart from here, from the RSI, which it will. I mean, this has been a huge downtrend here. Look at this. This is crazy. So that's something that you can look at, guys. I mean, listen, no one is right, no one is wrong. But often when you see, a downtrend like this, what I'd like to look at is a break of structure and some type of a test. And look at that. I mean, this is perfect. It's been in this, support, rejection. And right now it's at the midpoint. And what you want to see is some kind of a stability, right? Maybe it comes back down, testing this trend line one more time, and then it reverses. All right. The one that I find fascinating, absolutely fascinating, and I think this one is very obvious to everybody. So I'm going to, before I move on, guys, to the FOMC, look at this. So Say has had this tremendous, absolutely, look how good it is. Right, so if you look at support here, if you look at Say, it's done really well for a long time, and it formed a very nice, what I consider to be a very, very good trend line of support versus BTC. So if you look at that, that's beautiful. That is really, really beautiful in my opinion, because this goes back to many, many, again, it goes back to a year. It went up absolutely parabolic. The first move against BTC was 5x, guys, from these lows. That is ridiculous. Look at that. It's nearly 6x from those bottoms all the way to the top. And then it's had this huge, unbelievable downtrend. But every time it came to this support line, it's been lower highs. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. 3 touches on this trend line. And I'm expecting a fourth one before ultimately it does what it needs to do. So just so to be clear, when you look at alts versus BTC, you start to realize, okay, some of these alts, either I'm in too early or I'm in too late. So this is where you can avoid. This is a really good token right now. I think it will give people, 2x, 3x, whatever, if they wanted to trade this. All right. And then lastly, we look at a few other ones versus, sorry, this is Pepe coin, basedai. I think these are not the BTC pairs. Yeah, these are just standard pairs. But Spectral has broken out. And look at that. Spectral right now is performing well against BTC, of course. And this is a new layer 1 that I talked about called Kaya, which has a decent ecosystem. So guys, I hope that is quite clear in how you can look at your charts rather than focus on the the flavor of the day or whatever that's pumping, because again, whatever is pumping has probably been pumping for a while. If you look at TVLs, top protocols on each one of these different chains, Morpho has been catching attention. Morpho Blue, which is the lending protocol on Base. Suilend, again, that's an interesting one. Again, if you're interested in Aptos, you've got the likes of Eris, but to be honest, Suilend or Sui ecosystem is probably the best way to look at these large protocol or big layer 1 opportunities. So yeah, take a look at that, and let's have a look at chains in general by TVL. When you look at chains by TVL, guys, what you would notice is, usual suspects. Then Hyperliquid comes out of anywhere, probably a Ponzi scheme for the big boys. Then you've got Sui there, Avalanche, which has added a 20% change. The best thing to do, the best way to look at this is to look at the monthly change. So if you look at the TVL protocols with the highest inflow of volume and TVL, Hyperliquid is insane. Hyperliquid is incredible. And then you've got this Renek, which is obviously had a very good inflow, but it's a very, very small project. So you have to understand sometimes smaller projects with a lower TVL can actually do something like this. But I do like to look at the monthly change because, Genesis, it gives me more of an opportunity to look at further down the risk curve to see what other chains have a decent growing TVL. Tyco, that's an interesting one. The TVL is at 400 million. And then, of course, you've got other obscure ones here. But it's interesting, guys, looking at it this way. And if we look at the amount by TVL, so ETH, yeah, let's go. So ETH, 79 billion. Solana, 8 billion. Tron and Solana neck and neck. Unbelievable. Then you've got, of all things, you've got Bitcoin. This one is interesting. This is largely due to Corium and Alex Labs. Then you got Binance Smart Chain, Base, Arbitrum, Hyperliquid, and then you start to come down and you start to see Corium, which I talked about quite a bit, at the depths, starting to show up a little bit. One that I think is super interesting is BitLayer, Tyco. You've got, Tyco is very obscure, but probably Blast is the one that I would really, really take interest, guys. You know, no matter what people say about Blast, they are gonna start playing this Blast game. They are gonna start playing this Blast game, and it's gonna go nuts because you can't have this TVL. You cannot have that TVL and not do anything. It's just impossible. So even though that was peaking around that, it's still $500 million in TVL, all right? And I'm already working on some Blast plays. I have got a Blast section in the group. So yeah, check it out, guys, if you're in there. So anyway, that's a lot of alpha there today, without giving you any crazy hyperbolic buy this now kind of nonsense. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance, 57%, yeah, we will touch up 60 again before we ultimately crash. Somebody asked me a very good point yesterday, which was, do you see Bitcoin dominance going below 40? And I doubt it. I think 40 is enough to be able to have a very good alt season. Now we do have this.
The vice chairman of IBM, Gary Cohn, who also served as the White House economic advisor in President Trump's first term. Gary, welcome back. It's expected the Fed's going to cut rates again this week, even though we did see in the economic data release that inflation is still high. President Trump said can't lower prices once they're high. Seems to be admitting that it's not within the president's remit to control what you spend at the grocery store.
Margaret, thanks for having me. You're right. So we had two bits of economic data this week. We had consumer prices and we had producer prices. Both came in on the high side of where economists were hoping. If you look at the consumer prices, we're looking at about 2.7% on consumer prices. Remember, the Fed's target for inflation is about 2%. Right. So we're running almost a percent high. Producer prices came in even higher than we were expecting. So we're not down to that target 2% where the Fed would like to get to. That said, the Fed is meeting next week. The Fed is highly viewed that the Fed will cut interest rates by 25 basis points next week. That means over the course of this year, they will have cut interest rates by 100 basis points. Now, as you look forward into next year, people had projected they would cut a lot more. I think we are seeing the rate of cuts slow down quite dramatically as people are starting to evaluate the economic data that we have.
So what does that mean in terms of the economy President Trump will be inheriting?
So the president's inheriting a very good economy, a very stable economy. We have real solid economic growth. We have real job growth. We have real wage growth. And I think some of the wage growth that we're seeing, we've seen a lot of these union contracts be renegotiated in the second half of this year. Mm-hmm. Those wages feed through the economy. They feed through as inflation. So the economy that the president's inheriting is quite strong. I think it will continue to stay quite strong. And in fact, the American consumer today, as well as corporate America, is quite excited about what the Trump administration is talking about. And the business environment is very positive. Corporate America is talking about a lot of expansion, a lot of capital expenditure for next year, right, about repatriating more jobs back to the United States, about building more factories in the United States, hiring more workers.
You think that'll actually happen?
I do think it's going to happen. So net, we are talking about a very positive business and cycle going forward into 2025.
There you go. So guys, look, you know, it's gonna be an interesting time for us anyway, but do not mess about with your capital. You know, choose what you buy, stay within your convictions, look into gaming, look into AI, look into AI agents through based AI creatures and other forms of AI agents that you can hold and potentially trade. If you're in that game, you should be just trading them, right? Nothing is here forever. Most coins are there to be traded, and then very select few should be able to absorb most of your input. But we are going to have a fantastic 2025, guys. You know, stay smart. Don't do anything silly, and I'll catch you on the next one.